Welcome to the first video in this channel for a really long time. I think the last one was about the road trip that I've done with my XM, this car, to the Netherlands last year. And I'm now starting again because I finally have my own garage where I can do some stuff in my cars. Not really quality stuff because I'm no mechanic and my skills are limited, but yeah, nonetheless. Just a heads up, this video is gonna be a bit convoluted because it has been recorded with two different smartphones. This one is much better. Before I start, let me just do a quick recap. Even before the road trip, I sold the BX that I had that featured on the channel, and also my Alfa Romeo 33, because I didn't have anywhere to store it at the time and it made no sense to have that many cars. Now the situation is a bit different. This video will be about the XM. I've replaced the inner and outer tie rods, and I've also removed the sump because this car, since that trip to the Netherlands, has a low oil pressure warning. It's been getting worse over time. I thought bits of the dipstick could be in the sump and also something else that could block the pickup tube that feeds oil to the engine. And yeah, I knew it was a long shot, but I decided that I would drop the sump and see what was in there. The footage from that is basically non-existent because my cell phone died and the files die with it. I might recover them in the future, but I wanted to just put this video online now. So what you're not seeing in this video is me removing the sump, fighting with the bolts that attach the mounting for the AC compressor to the sump. I found two big bits of metal in there, in the filter, and since that, and as you're gonna see in the video, we still have issues with oil pressure, although now it's just at idle and hot idle, which I find interesting. Anyway, the engine is using 1 liter of oil per 1000 kilometers. We're gonna see what I'm gonna do next. But yeah, on with the video and with the replacement of the inner and outer tie rods, which were actually my main concern because there was a big knock that I felt on the steering wheel when I came home a certain night, and that's what led me to change them. There are many issues with the XM. One of them is that it's absolutely dirty. But the first one that I'm going to show you is that when you try to check the engine oil, you can't. You can't because, well, actually the dipstick is here because I left it here last time, but it was stuck in there because the plastic bit around it is basically disintegrating, which I think is typical for these engines. It's not ideal to not be able to check your oil if your engine is actually burning quite a lot of it. Really, we need the dipstick working. To try and sort out this mess, because there are few new dipsticks, I actually ordered a kit from Place, which is a French company that actually recreates in 3D printing, I think, small bits and bobs for old gold cars. And what we have here is basically two halves that will do the top of the dipstick. This is not focusing. Okay. And a small O-ring so that actually we don't have any leaks. So that's basically it. We need to clean the dipstick properly. We need to glue this in place, and we have to let it dry while there is some pressure on it for 24 hours, I think. That's really simple in principle, and let's hope it will work. Now I think you can better see the issue. Excellent. Remove this. I don't think I can do much better than that. We're gonna let it cure for 24 hours and then we're gonna add our little O-ring, and that should be it. As you can see, it will never look OEM because it's two halves, right? It's not an entire piece, but it's the same color, it's the same format in general, and as long as we can actually check the oil without using tricks such as wire, I think we're good. Something else that we need to do, clean this mess. There is evidence of some bricks being carried here. So, I haven't done that yet. I have done this. 2 cars, 2 buckets. No, that's wrong. Calling that a bucket is a bit excessive. And if we are actually successful, that should work, I think. Okay, we're already here. Okay, actually it's not that difficult. That says done. That's a very tight fit. Yeah, that really grips. Hello again. A couple hours, well, almost a day has passed. The car would not lift up high enough for me to actually put the jack stands underneath. And at the same time, the jack that I have is this. So yeah, I had to improvise, and I used this little lip that I have in my garage for the front wheels to stand on. And then I put there this piece of wood for extra height. I really had to line it up carefully. So far, so good. The car has been staying here. It's not going anywhere. This might not be the issue, but this is not good. I suppose you shouldn't be able to do this by hand to a tie rod. Yeah, and wait it so Khalil. I'm really sorry because you're missing part of the action, but this has already been undone a little. Yep, we need to do that before we actually go to this one. The penetrating oil has definitely helped. Actually, I was looking for a 16mm, which I don't have. I have a 15 or a 17. And none of them seem like the right fit. This seems to be it. Yes, 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 yes. Now, we're gonna do that trick of counting the turns, right? I mean, I'm gonna change this also, so we can just take the final length of the 2 rods combined. Right, let's do that. So, that's 1, that's 2, 3. So that's the first tie rod, outer tie rod in my life that I have removed. Quite happy about that. Well, it's not much of a tie rod anymore, you know. As you can see, that's absolutely dead. This now doesn't seem so bad. Okay, it's not very good. I can do it with my thumb. And you can hear a little bit of noise, maybe some sort of sand in there when you do this round. But it could be even worse. I think the main culprit here was actually not this, which is not good, but this. As you can see, this is broken in many pieces. And this is your regular joint, I think. Same deal on this side. Please don't round, please don't round, please don't round. Oh my. Hooray. Okay. One, 2, 3. Good morning. This is a different day, and that's why I'm in shorts, because it's really hot today. Although we are still in April. I already went shopping for some parts for the XM and for a specific tool to remove the inner tie rods. So I'm just going to show you. Of course, I'm also going to do a service, so we're going to start with that. We have some oil. We have here, what is this? Oh, okay, this is one of the outer tie rods. And the other one, I assume, this should be one of the cuffs. Yep, that's it. The gaiters. This is one of the inner tie rods. And we have the other one here. This is another one of the gaiters, I think. Just check. Yep, that's it. This should be here, because it is from the rover, from the light in the boot. Our old tie rod, I took it to check if it really was the right size, and it is. A sump gasket, because we are gonna need to undo it. And looking at the difference between the holes, this might be the right one, because cars with AC have a different sump, because there's some sort of support from the compressor, the AC compressor that goes there. This is basically what I paid for all of this, but we haven't finished. We have fuel filter here and another filter. Trying to open stuff while you're trying to handle a phone, not very easy. Alright, that looks small.
Mas isto está num bom caminho.
Está num caminho. Não sei se é bom, mas está num caminho. Turns out that this might actually be the right tool. Well, it seems you had to put the tool on like this. It was actually like that. Yeah. And then with big socket like this, just twist it, and with the pressure it eventually knocks itself loose. So I think we have managed that. A lot of spins, but yeah, here we are. Now the difference between them is, I think, quite obvious, because I can do this with one hand, but I can't do that here. Yeah, it doesn't go anywhere. That seems like a good angle, so I try to show you. I'm doing this protective boot, which I'm not sure is going to be easy. It seems I've run out of talent on this side. This is supposed to have some sort of ring on the inside. I don't know if you can access it in between here or from the inside, which is really difficult with a screwdriver. But as you can see, I've already torn it with my attempts. So yeah, I'm just gonna cut it, understand how the hell it is in place. I mean, the issue maybe is not that I don't understand, it's just I just can't do it. But yeah, I'm gonna cut it and order a new one. Let's see if we now have enough for the tool to actually grab on. I had to cut a bit more, and even then I'm not sure it's gonna be enough. Let's take a break from the other side and do this one. And now all we gotta do is make sure we don't make a mess in the garage floor. That's the other way around, dummy. Okay. Maybe let me just try to undo it this way. Okay, that was excellent. The design of this thing actually helps because it's a little bit, you know, at an angle. And to be honest, it doesn't look good, this oil. Also, there isn't a lot of it. We have nothing in there that suggests we have damage to the big ends or something like that. Let's now remove the filter. If we're actually able to put our key here, we might be. But this needs to be more open. That is a tight fit, I can tell you. My hand is stuck against the bottom of the intake. And to make things worse, the tip of the oil filter wrench has come loose. Now it will be golden. Unless it isn't. Oh no. We're going to change our strategy, so we're going to put this in between the wrench and the oil filter, and we're going to use, what is it? Just give me a second. Yeah, we're going to use this to tighten this. In the meantime, some things have been done. This means that the pan is now in place. The AC compressor is now in place, but horribly so, because I'm pretty sure the bolts don't go away, and I'm pretty sure that one of the rings is missing. I think it was already, actually. It's pretty tight and the belt is aligned, so I'm not too worried about that now. There's already oil in the engine, although I haven't checked properly because the car is up on the jack, on the stand, sorry. And yeah, pretty much what I need to do is put the wheels back on and go for a test drive. But I can already tell you that just doing the inner and outer tie rods didn't exactly produce the result I wanted, because the main issue is somewhere else. And it seems that the issue is actually, let me see if I can show you, from here maybe. It's actually the steering column, the link to the steering box. There seems to be a ring that is made of rubber, and I would assume that either that is torn or the the articulation itself is tired. That's a bit better than changing a steering rack, I think, but still not great news, because I know that when I go for a test drive it's still gonna be rubbish. Right, wheels are in place. This is in place so that we can raise the car and remove the jack stands. Yeah, that seems about right to me. Maybe a little bit loose. We're gonna see. If it doesn't squeal and it charges well, we're good. No bolts here. Always a good occurrence. Nothing left in here. At this point I'm really just trying to spend some extra time before turning the engine on. We do have coolant. We could have a touch more, but we do have coolant. Oil. We could check that there's oil, but I know there's oil because I put 3.5 liters in it. Yes! That's sounding very rough. I got another half a liter of oil and the low pressure warning has gone away. No, it's just our ABS that is gone, but never mind. She weighs a little. You're lazy today. Oh, okay. Oh no, don't roll. Okay. 1. and 2. And now we can put tube down again. The most insightful of you might have noticed that I forgot to torque the wheel nuts properly. I just did them by hand. Shame. So, first impressions. Steering wheel is off. It's not catastrophic, but it is off. It feels very light too, lighter than before, which is to be expected since I probably messed up the alignment. I didn't put the outer tie rods exactly where they were. I haven't felt that resistance and that knock yet, but we are going slowly. My test will be going up this road because that's where the issues started last time. Tomorrow this car is going for an MOT, the equivalent in Portugal anyway, and I'm not really sure it's going to pass. I think the engine is too tired for emissions to be okay. It's a long one and no signs of the knock. My question is if that's gonna be the same when we're going up. It should, because we're not talking about an issue with the CV joints or something like that. Okay, we're gonna up the ante a little bit, because so far I don't see anything catastrophic in my work. I do feel the knock the moment I change the engine direction, I mean when I do this with the steering wheel, but after that initial knock, things are okay. Which does make sense, because after all, the issue shouldn't lie within the rack, and I've replaced the inner and outer tie rods. The issue is within the articulation between the steering wheel and the steering rack itself, so in the pivot in the column. Yeah, actually I'm pleasantly surprised because there's still a knock, but I'm not seeing that dramatic thing that I've seen last time, in which it was feeling really dangerous. Now, yeah, I feel safe enough to actually drive it to the MOT. Yeah, this doesn't come as a surprise. I'm going to recheck the oil, but it has 4 liters in it. It shouldn't warrant all of this. I'm just going to turn this off before you do more damage. At this point, I just want to get it to the MOT. I'm not sure it's gonna pass the test. When the engine goes, the engine goes. We'll find another one.